Well, got the piggies moved. As you can see, it's Sunday morning. I just fed them, so they're kind of eating, going crazy here. But I wanted to kind of show you some of what I got going on. So I went ahead and put them further out into the pasture, and I strung up a fence here, little electric fence that I'm going to walk you through, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did, you know, because it's good to know, because yeah, I needed to know how to do it, so I'll kind of walk you through it, so take a look. To show you how I had the fence hooked up previously, so this is the previous area that I had designated for the piggies. As you can see, they've completely decimated it, which is exactly what I wanted, because the field here was really awful last year, and I had no way of tilling the ground or doing anything with it. And so thankfully I found the wonderful world of pigs, and they are the most efficient tilling machines I have ever found. Now this is my pasture this year, which is kind of getting high. It's getting some grass, which is good, but what I got going on here is I have a clip here that clips right on into the end of the fence. So this perimeter fence is live and it's hot, and I clip these on, and it makes this white string that you see. It's basically wire. It's just it's almost like a rope material with like a piece of aluminum woven through it, so it just makes it hot. The piggies touch it, they get zapped, so they understand the deal. But anyways, I had this rectangular shaped area all designated out. Now I just moved the piggies yesterday evening, and I connected it by using that right there. And I just hooked it up to the existing paddock that we have. I opened up this area here. As you can see, there's no posts here. So this is where the piggies came through. Oh, there's my turkeys. So yeah, the piggies came through here into the new area, which I have their house in and everything else. So what we have here is I cut the line, tied it off over here, and then I just moved these posts. These posts are very easy to move, so I just picked them up and I moved it up against this fence that's already here. The fence itself, this thing is not hot in any way. It's just a fencing to keep the chickens in their area, that sort of thing, keep them safe. But yeah, that's pretty much how I did it. So today probably I will close this off. I'll basically take this string where it's at right here, and I'll loop it across this way and just put it right here. And I'll just move the T-post is what I'll do. And then that'll be it. And they have this whole area, so it actually goes a pretty good distance. It's basically just right past the blue barrel there that you see. So that's their watering barrel. I put that near the water source. It's easier to fill that way. But as they you can see, just in a day, they've been doing some work here on the ground. They've already tilled up quite a bit of ground, and they'll continue to dig, searching for nuts and acorns and whatever else is kind of buried in here, on top of just eating the plants. I mean, they love the clover, they'll eat the grass, they eat it all. So that's what I'm hoping that they'll do, is till the land, and then once that happens, I then go in and I replant. Tom, what you doing? Good pig. So you guys might be wondering, how in the world a big pig like this can be held behind a line like that? And a lot of it comes down to, hey Darcy, a lot of it comes down to they lead with their snouts. and they sniff everything, and that is probably one of the more sensitive spots on their body, for sure. And so as a result, they come up to this wire, and if they touch it with their snout, they get shocked. And it's not a powerful shock. I've touched it I don't know how many times inadvertently. It's not, it's one of those things where you get shocked and it lasts for a second and that's it. All right, so I wanted to show you what the pasture that they've been on, as it starts to grow back, what it looks like. As you can see here, it's starting to already grow in. So this area here, I started off with just the 3 piggies. It wasn't very big in my opinion, but it was big enough for 3 pigs for sure. They were on this plot of ground for 2 weeks is where I had them. And you can see the grass is already growing back in. Now we've planted in here, if you can see, that's radish. So we have radishes growing, and we also planted in some oats. Yeah, oats, that's right. So oats and radishes. The idea here is that we're wanting to plant things that as the pigs rotate around our pasture, they will be able to, when they get back to this spot, they'll be able to dig up the radishes and eat them, number one. Number two, the radishes also, because it's Ohio, the soil here is clay, very hard packed clay. And so the radishes will help to also break up the soil as well. So that's what this now looks like 4 weeks after the piggies have been removed. This is where they just were, as you can see. So try not to get you blinded by the sun there. The sun's just coming up. But this is where they just were. They've been here for 2 weeks. Now this is probably an area that's twice the size almost of this one here. But this one had 6 pigs. So I went ahead and wanted to show you that as well. So they've, in 2 weeks time, they've completely tore it apart. But again, that's what I wanted to have happen, because they are very efficient at tilling up the ground. So we're gonna come back in behind here in a few days, and we're gonna plant some things that'll, you know, that'll grow well in here, and that will give the pigs something to eat when they do come back around. So the idea here is that they will rotate around in our pasture as they go throughout the year and grow. So yeah, that's it. This behind me is the field plot. As you can see, it's doing quite well. But I tell you what, I didn't think that doing pigs was going to be, I'm not going to say easy, but certainly I didn't think it would be as easy going for a new person to do them as I've experienced. I highly recommend, if you have the land and the means, you know, pigs are a great way to go for sure. You know, some people ask, well, you know, why don't you do cows and things like that? And I mean, I plan on doing that at some point, but I tell you what, seeing how easy it was to train pigs on the electric wire, to see how easy it is to move them around my pasture, it's a great way to go. It really is. So I enjoy it. I think it's good, and I think anybody who gives it a shot would also probably have the same experience. Tom, what you doing? Good pig. So you guys might be wondering, how in the world a big pig like this can be held behind a line like that? And a lot of it comes down to, hey Darcy, a lot of it comes down to they lead with their snouts, and they sniff everything, and that is probably one of the more sensitive spots on their body for sure. And so as a result, they come up to this wire, and if they touch it with their snout, they get shocked. And it's not a powerful shock. I've touched it I don't know how many times inadvertently. It's not, it's one of those things where you get shocked and it lasts for a second and that's it. But yeah, that's how they stay behind, is because they lead with their nose. And as you can see, you know, they just want to eat. So that's all they want to do, is just eat, eat, eat. And so they're just kind of leading with their nose, looking for food. And if they touch that wire, boom, they get zapped for a second. And then it just pulses for a second, and then it goes off for a second and pulses again for a second. So that's how it works.